If you think the state pension is going to be enough for you to live off when you retire, you're wrong. In the UK, the maximum state pension that you can earn per year is roughly around £12,000, which works out to £230 a week. Let's say, for example, that you haven't managed to buy your home. The average rent in the UK is actually over £1,000. That's your entire state pension gone, and it's nowhere near enough to live a comfortable retirement. Most people in the UK actually treat the state pension as a retirement plan, but it's not. Its intended purpose was to be a basic safety net. It assumed that you owned your own home and that you had another type of income. Now, let's be blunt, £12,000 a year doesn't really buy you very much. Realistically, the state pension only just covers food, council tax, electrics, TV license, and the odd trip down the pub. But what if you've got an emergency? What if you've got a mortgage? That money is going to quickly dwindle down to essentially nothing. The question you need to ask yourself is, will you be able to live on £230 a week? Now, with the current retirement age being 66, which is due to rise to 67 by 2028, and there has also been talk of potential rises to 68 in the near future. This means that the likes of individuals that haven't retired yet actually have to wait longer for their retirement. It means they have to work longer, and they have to bridge the gap between their working life and their retirement life. And this is where you should realize that you need a backup plan. You don't actually need to replace the state pension overnight. You need to start early and be consistent. Nearly every individual in the UK has a mobile phone contract. And for a brand new iPhone, you're looking at around about £60 a month. Now, instead of using that money to buy the latest phone, we actually use that money to invest in our long-term retirement plan. That £60 could be put into the S&P 500, returning 11% a year. And over a 50-year period, you could be sitting on over £1.5 million. Let's say you can afford more, but you have a shorter time horizon. £100 a month over a 35-year period at 11% is over £500,000. This is what creates financial security. You don't need to make massive moves and save £10,000 a year. Time is your best friend when investing. Now, a huge benefit that PAYE employees have in the UK is that companies are legally obligated to pay into a pension for you. This is what's known as auto-enrollment. One of the advantages that individuals in the UK that are employed is that they can take advantage of matched contributions. Now, the auto-enrollment in the UK means that companies are legally obliged to enroll you onto their pension plan after a certain period. Now, what they don't tell you is that they might even offer more lucrative and attractive pension contribution matches. Now, every single employer in the UK is slightly different, but most employers will match the contributions that you put in every single month up to a certain percentage. What I mean by this is, let's say, for example, you are auto-enrolled onto a 4% matched contribution. This simply means that you put in 4% of your salary and the company will match and put 4% in as well. However, what they might not tell you is that they actually match up to a total or maximum of 10%. So you put in 10% and they will also put in 10%. The way that you do this and find this out is that you speak to your HR team and find out the information for your individual company. If, for example, you've got the opportunity to match up to a higher percentage, it's definitely worth the benefit. This is because the money will compound over a long term and you're essentially getting double the amount that you're putting in. If you put in 4%, your company will put in 4%. If you put in 10%, your company will put in 10%. However, if you are already doing this or you are self-employed, there are a few things that you can do to secure your financial future. The first one will be to open a stocks and shares ISA or SIPP. If you're looking to invest over the long term in your financial future, specifically your pension, then a SIPP is a must. Now, I'm not going to touch upon all the benefits of a SIPP, but it's an amazing way that individuals can secure their financial future and their retirement plan by investing their money in a tax-efficient way. However, if you aren't looking at a SIPP or you don't have the opportunity of match contributions because you're self-employed, what you can do is invest in a stocks and shares ISA. Now, you can put up to a maximum of £20,000 a year into a stocks and shares ISA. And although you don't get tax relief on the way in, any profits, any dividends, any money that you make within the ISA is totally tax-free. My advice here is to open a stocks and shares ISA or open a SIPP, set up monthly direct debits and watch it grow over the long term. Now, the reason that you need to do this sooner rather than later is that people are living longer, retirement is lasting longer, and costs are going up every single year. In the UK, people are regularly living into their 80s, 90s, and even 100 years old. If you're retiring at 66, 67, or 68, this means that you might have 30 years without an income. If you speak to any retired individual, they're going to say how great the triple lock state pension is. The triple lock is essentially a guarantee by the UK government that pensions will rise by one of the following. This could be UK inflation, wage growth, or 2.5%. Now, whichever is the largest increase out of those three metrics, the state pension will rise by. For example, last year wages rose 4.8%, which means that the state pension went up by 4.8%. And the issue with this is that It's not been stress tested. What I mean by this is that the UK government created this triple lock system to protect pensioners and to win their votes in a general election. As time has gone on, we've realised that this is now becoming unsustainable. With high levels of inflation over the last 10 years, high wage growth as well over the last couple of years, it means that pensions are becoming more and more expensive. For the individuals that are working, like myself and you, this means that higher taxes are required to pay that pension. When we come to retire, the age in which we will be able to retire to receive our state pension will continue to go up. Unfortunately, we cannot plan our financial future around politics. If you're going to ask me, I don't believe that the state pension will exist in its current form. I believe that it is unsustainable. In the next 25 to 50 years, potentially the state pension might not exist at all. The state pension will not give you the life that you want in retirement by itself. This is why it's super crucial to make sure that you plan for your financial future. You should view the state pension as a bonus on top. It should be a little thank you from the government that when you reach retirement age, you get a small amount of money every single year. Don't plan your entire life on the fact that you're going to receive a state pension and that it will see you through until the end of your days. Unfortunately, individuals now are going to have to do more to secure their financial future. This means by investing in things that are going to grow over the long term. The biggest advantage that you have is time. It doesn't matter if you put in £1,000 a month, £500 a month, or even £30 a month. Like the example mentioned before, if you invested £60 a month into the S&P and it returned 11%, you'd make £1.5 million in 50 years' time. That is equivalent to 125 years of state pension at £12,000 a year. Now, look, the state pension might not disappear, but it is going to change. And relying on the state pension to pay you in your retirement is a gamble. The earlier that you start, the better. Even if it's £60 a month, even if it's £20 a month. You don't need to be rich tomorrow. You just need to take responsibility. My name's David, and thanks for watching.